So this one night I went out with a couple of my friends and we got to this sort of party area. There was music playing and I ended up just introducing myself to a bunch of these guys, having a good chat with them. And then we were taking turns like crowd surfing, lifting each other up and just like dancing around, being idiots. We had a dance circle, had an amazing time. And I'll try and see if I have some videos, but I remember at the end of the night when I was like leaving this venue, I was speaking to this girl and like her friends, and she was like, wow, like, were you one of those guys who was crowd surfing? Like, oh wow, that was so interesting. Basically, shit happened, and I learned from this experience that you can own a room by doing one thing. It's just by being really friendly, by talking to a lot of different people. You can have the effect that you own a room just by meeting lots of new people and being a good person. And I want to share how you can kind of get that effect. You can be that really friendly person. You can be comfortable talking to lots of new people and being really friendly. But before I get into how you can do that, click the subscribe button right now and follow my Instagram. It's in the bio. But basically, I want to tell you this story, right? And this will help you understand what I'm about to share with you better. This one afternoon, I met up with my best mate and this other guy who I was really close friends with. And we were basically walking towards this kind of concert area. 3-day concert, super fun. There's a lot of people you meet there. And we were walking there, but on the way, we stopped at the 7-Eleven. And so for some context, this whole time that I'd been walking with the boys, I'd been laughing my ass off, having a great time. And since I'm so close to these guys, I'm really comfortable being myself. And I see this girl sitting outside the 7-Eleven. And so I look at my friends and I look at the girl, and honestly, sometimes you just kind of know what your friend is saying. They knew what I meant when I looked at them and looked at this girl. And they went in the 7-Eleven, and I ended up getting this girl's Instagram, having a nice little chat with her. And in the end, I learned something. I realized that I was 1,000 times more confident when I was with my friends. I wouldn't have approached some random girl who I thought was cute and had a nice conversation with her if I was by myself 9 times out of 10. But since I was with the boys, I felt as confident as I needed to be, and I did it anyways. So I learned that as long as you're with people you're really comfortable around, you can do things that you normally wouldn't be able to do. You're way more confident. Now you might be wondering, right? How do I make friends who I'm super comfortable and confident around? How do I become so close with people in the first place that I get that effect? I'm going to share a story with you that might help you understand. So there was this guy he was new to my school. This was quite a while ago, and he was sitting by himself at dinner, but I was like, oh, hey mate, nice to meet you. And I moved from sitting with my friends and I just like hopped tables so that I could sit next to him. I don't really like it when somebody has to sit by themselves or whatever. He was new, he was clearly a little bit shy. But I introduced myself to him, and I remember I had a decent chat with him, but it wasn't anything special. Like, I couldn't really tell if he liked me or not, but, you know, we had a nice conversation, and I remember I said, oh yeah, we should go to the gym sometime, because basically he told me he works out a lot. And what I learned was that, because basically, to be honest, we didn't go to the gym, but instead of going to the gym together, because we would always end up going to the gym at a similar time, we'd just have a different workout routine. But a couple of weeks ago, a few months ago, we went out to this event together, and I invited him out. And at first, like, I wasn't that comfortable around him. Like, I didn't have that effect that I did with my other friends who I was super close with, where I could get out of my comfort zone and feel way more confident. But we went out to this kind of, let's just call it an event. It was like a pretty nice party and everything. And we went there and we were having a good laugh, having a good chat. But throughout the whole night, we ended up speaking to a lot of different people and we had a really good time. And that's when I realized that you don't really become close to people unless you actually put in a huge amount of effort. You invite them to something that's interesting to do and you go through uncomfortable situations with them. Because we both saw each other get rejected by a few girls. We were getting out of our comfort zone and talking to some girls. We both saw each other having a great time. We both saw each other doing things that we really respected. And Throughout this whole night, if you spend 4 or 5 hours with somebody and you go somewhere you're not like used to and you get out of your comfort zone, you become so much closer with somebody. And this was clear because I remember now, a few weeks ago, I was in the gym, and even though there was no reason to be confident, I was, because my guy was right there working out next to me. I felt so much more comfortable to be myself because I felt like I'd gone closer with this guy. And so I realized that it's super important to have a friend who you're super confident with. But the only way to make that friend is to try, is to just talk to as many people as possible and just ask them, oh, do you want to go to do this thing? And it might take a long time and it might be really hard. But isn't that fair that the best, most valuable things, really good friendships are hard to make? I feel like that's pretty fair. And that's something that I had to deal with, making new friends. It's meant to be hard, but I'm happy to help you. So if you have any questions, bro, feel free to message me on Instagram. My link's in the bio, and I'll give you as much help as you want. Click the subscribe button right now. I hope you have a great day, brother.